What's up everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence, AI, and WordPress, and what it means for you, the developer, the blogger, the website owner, and everyone who uses WordPress as a platform. A few things I want to cover is how is artificial intelligence being utilized with WordPress today? How are bloggers using AI? How are developers benefiting from AI? How are businesses utilizing AI? And then we're going to be talking about the future of AI in terms of WordPress. Will it be baked into WordPress core? Will it forever stay in plugin territory? And overall, what the landscape looks like now and in the future. Alright, so if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure that you know that artificial intelligence has been taking over the headlines. For the past 6 months, we've been inundated with articles about how ChatGPT has pretty much taken over the world in terms of written form content. But we have some other AI as well, like Bard and Bing Chat that has ChatGPT 4 baked into it. But beyond just text generation, we also have image generation. Then we have video editing capabilities with AI and audio editing capabilities with AI as well. It's basically that every single form of content creation and editing is benefiting from the advancements in AI. So today, it seems like it's an awesome time to be a content creator. You could utilize all of these AI tools to help streamline your workflow as a creator. And if you're a developer, then your work just got easier. But does that mean that it's always going to be the case? Or will there come a time where people who make a living by creating articles, copywriters, editors, and anyone who's involved in generating text or writing text, then maybe they won't be needed anymore? And graphic artists. Will AI get powerful enough to generate the type of images needed for an article without the need for a graphic artist? Video creation? It's coming a long way. Audio? By now you get the picture. Text-to-speech is here. There's been a lot of advancements in audio voice generation. But in reality, I don't see that happening today. I don't see it happening within a year or 2 years. For now, I believe that most of these tools are just that. Tools, and we can all benefit by utilizing them to enhance our workflow. Basically, AI is going to be your co-pilot. It's going to be your partner. And since the cat's already out the bag, there's no going back. So we have to maximize our utilization of these tools. And there's going to be some purists that say if you're not writing content on your own and you're utilizing AI, then you're not really a writer. Or if you're a coder or programmer who's creating a program with the help of AI, then you're not really a developer. And that argument has been around forever. Oh, you're using PHP or Python or using JavaScript or using Java. Well, you're not a real coder unless you're using C or C# or C++, a lower level language. Well, in that case, then you're not really a coder unless you're using assembly language, or you're not really a coder unless you're using binary. Again, all these languages and all these AI tools, the whole entire purpose of them is to help us create content and help us create programs where we could share something of value with the world. All right, so let's talk about WordPress and AI specifically. And to do that, I want to take a look at a conversation that's taking place with some of the WordPress core contributors. So let me share an article with you that I just read the other day. And it's on the make.wordpress.org website. And it says, let's talk WordPress core and artificial intelligence. And basically, it's about starting the conversation about how AI technology has made huge strides in recent years and has the potential to revolutionize how humans build and interact with websites, companies, and individuals. It talks about the WordPress community taking a leap into AI. It talks about how the focus of WordPress core aims to function during this evolving time. And part of the conversation is, should AI be baked into WordPress core? And this is an important conversation because remember, WordPress powers over 43% of the modern web. So they really want people to share their opinions and their thoughts. And you have a lot of them over here on the make.wordpress.org website. But then if we move on to another article on WP Tavern, they also elaborate and talk about the AI innovation and what it means for WordPress. And some of the contributors have mentioned WordPress core always seeks to provide a stable foundation for folks to build upon directly and extend as they see fit. Even if a new technology is not actually included in the core, the project aims to enable innovation and progress through extensions, plugins, themes, etc. But now let's see what the man himself, Matt Mullenweg, has to say about AI and WordPress. Matt Mullenweg is optimistic about the prospect of further integrating AI into open source development. He reminds people that in 2015 he advised people to learn JavaScript deeply. And he said he doesn't have a catchy phrase yet. Well, that's an easy one. Learn AI deeply. But his message for 2023 will be to spend as much time leveraging AI as possible. The boosts to productivity and capability are amazing. Some other contributors mentioned that AI innovation is better left to plugin developers and basically shouldn't be baked into WordPress core. One contributor here from Stellar WP, Matt Cromwell, he mentions all AI options currently require integration with a third-party system, some sort of pricing and authentication. This feels to me to clearly be plugin territory. Another contributor from Bluehost, Jonathan Desrosiers, stated, the roadmap is definitely full and adding new things should not be done unless there are extremely compelling reasons. And basically reiterated saying that plugins are a better place to experiment and flesh out AI integrations in the WordPress world. Another core contributor, Rob Glidden, proposed that contributors consider the possibility of AI chatbots. And the conversation continues on another website, Search Engine Journal. Right here, they also talk about, is it going to be a plugin or core integration? And they're basically reiterating what we've already read on the make.wordpress.org website and WP Tavern, but also points out there are no plans at this point to add AI to the WordPress core. And these discussions are just a starting point. Basically, we have to remember that AI is still in its infancy, at least when it comes to commercial usage. So you want it to mature to a certain point where it's not going to destabilize the WordPress core, which is why plugin territory makes perfect sense. One idea is to use AI as a diagnostic copilot. And basically this idea here is talking about how you can determine if one plugin has a conflict with another plugin. And we have to remember that WordPress has been heavily focused on a 4-stage process of changing up how we create content on WordPress, going from the classic editor to the block editor with Gutenberg. So the core developers are spread very thin, trying to make sure they meet their timelines on the current projects. So adding AI to core would definitely distract them and might destabilize the whole entire process. And we definitely don't want that. Alright, so basically we can come to the conclusion that AI is best utilized in plugin territory for WordPress. And for this aspect, I'm talking about developers. Content creation, we're going to talk about in a minute. So the question is, what plugins are currently utilizing artificial intelligence? One of them is CodeWP, and that's right here. This is an AI code generator for WordPress creators. Basically, they're talking about enhancing your WordPress workflow with AI. It could be used to generate code quickly. You could save, export, and share snippets, and it's an AI trained specifically for WordPress. The plugin was trained on WordPress and WooCommerce PHP examples, JavaScript, jQuery, and soon it's going to have support for plugins like Elementor, LearnDash, the events calendar, and more. So that's for developers in general. But beyond that, if you're a theme developer or a plugin developer or even a WordPress core developer, there's another tool that we heard a lot about over the past year, and that's Github Copilot. Github Copilot is an AI pair programmer, and it uses the OpenAI codex to suggest code and entire functions in real time, directly from your editor. So basically, you give it a comment, and then it'll write out the code for you. Now, I've played around with Github Copilot, and it really is a good tool. Is it perfect? No. Will it do everything for you? Absolutely not. But it definitely can speed up your workflow. Basically, Github Copilot was trained on billions of lines of code. Now, wait a minute. I did put up another video a few months ago talking about how Github Copilot was in the middle of a lawsuit. Basically because it was trained on billions of lines of code. Some of that potentially was proprietary code. And some of that code has open source licenses that require attribution. So definitely be mindful when you use some of these tools. Where is the recommendations coming from? But let me show you an example of how Github Copilot works. Alright, so I'm using VS Code and I have a WordPress installation downloaded. And let's say that I have a question on a piece of code. I'll go over here, and this is Github Copilot Labs. So this one's going to explain what a piece of code does. So let's say this line right here. I'll click on Ask Copilot, and it gives you the results. Here is an explanation for the code above. And even though I highlighted this right here, it actually gave me 4 various constants that were defined over here. So it says a DB host, the host name of the machine where the database is stored, then DB name, the name of the database, the DB user, the DB password, DB charge set. That's very basic stuff, right? Let's look at something else. Let's go here. Let me highlight this. Ask Copilot. So here's an explanation of the code above. We're going to force SSL admin is a conditional tag that checks if the SSL is enabled for admin panel. We have the is SSL function here as well. Is a conditional tag that checks if the SSL is enabled for the current request. Then we have the server request is the current request URI. WP safe redirect is a WordPress function that redirects the user to a specified URL. Set URL scheme is a WordPress function that changes the scheme of the specified URL. Server HTTP host is the current request host. And then we have exit is a PHP function that terminates the current script. Now let's copy that and let's check out some other tools. Basically, I want to see what ChatGPT, what it has to say about this, and what does Bard have to say about this as well. So right now I'm in Bard. Let's submit a request. Now I'm just putting in the code. I didn't even give it a real prompt. And here it says the code you have provided is a WordPress function that is used to force all admin requests to be made over HTTPS. The function works by first checking the forced SSL admin constant. If this constant is set to true, the function will then check to see if the current request is being made over HTTPS. So it goes down and gives you an explanation of the code line by line. Now that's great because Bard is free. Github Copilot is a paid solution. Now let's check what ChatGPT has. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to paste in the code and let's see what happens. And basically you get the same information. You get a breakdown of what the code does. So now we saw 3 tools, GitHub Copilot, Bard, and ChatGPT. But there's another one, and that's Bing Chat. Let's go right here, paste it in. Let's see what this gives us. All right, so this one needs us to give it a better prompt. So I'm going to say explain this code. And now we get some information about what this code does. Now in this case, Bing Chat wasn't as helpful. And that leads me to another point, that you have to verify the information that you're getting out of these AI tools. Sometimes they'll be right, sometimes they'll be wrong, and sometimes they'll just hallucinate and give you random information that doesn't make sense. So that means we're not at the point where AI could fully take over all of your responsibilities. Alright, so now we covered a lot for WordPress developers. What about for bloggers, for content creators, and for business owners and pretty much everyone wanting to use AI with WordPress to create content? We go over here, and this is an article, and it's about the usage of Bertha, a content AI tool. And it basically gives you information about how to use Bertha and how they used it to create this content. So they have the introduction, content AI tool that can help you write better headlines, blog posts, and social media updates. Yoast, a content optimization plugin for WordPress that will help you with your SEO. What does Bertha AI do? And then the conclusion. Basically, they asked Bertha to write the introduction to this blog post. And then they admit they had to add the last 3 sentences themselves. So he goes over his experience using Bertha. He noticed that the sentence length was a little bit more than what he's used to. Then he asked the question, do content AI tools like Bertha help you? And the answer he gave was, if you're someone who uses WordPress and wants to be found online, then you're the ideal customer for Bertha. It's a content AI tool that can help you write better headlines, blog posts, social media updates. And then they believe that it's really useful for product descriptions. Then it talks about what Bertha does, and obviously how Yoast SEO and Bertha are a match made in heaven. But obviously there's other players in town, and some that have been around for a very long time. The next one is called Jasper. Now, I previously used Jasper, but I used it when it was called Jarvis. Now, they had to change their name because there was an issue with Marvel over the term Jarvis AI and the similarity to Jarvis in Iron Man. So now it's called Jasper AI. Basically, this is a tool that you could use to create content for you. People have used Jasper to create ebooks, to create content for websites, and to actually use different tones of voice, depending on what they're trying to accomplish. And then, of course, you could use ChatGPT or Bard. Try a new chat. I gave it a basic prompt about writing me a blog post about AI. And very quickly, it gave me an article talking about artificial intelligence, understanding AI, the applications of AI, AI in automation, ethical considerations, the future of AI, human-AI collaboration, and a conclusion. Now, obviously, when you create content on some of these tools and platforms, you should take the time to review it, edit it, give it your own voice, and expand on it where necessary. And as always, confirm that the information it's given you is correct. Let's try the same thing with Bard. And here's what it gave me. It gave me some information about artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing, computer vision, its applications and use in different industries. Now, the content is a little bit thinner, but what's good is that it gives you some of the sources of where it got its information. Now, that's very important. Now, the thing is, when you're creating a blog post, you don't just want to have text. You want to have images. How is AI being utilized in the process of creating images? Well, if we go to Canva, they have an AI image generator, a free online AI image generator. You can dream it up, then add it to your design, watch your words and phrases, transform into beautiful images with text to image. Canva's AI image generator. Stand out with an image perfect for your project. And then obviously Adobe's in the game as well. So Adobe just created Adobe Firefly, which is now in Photoshop. Firefly is our creative generative AI engine. It's just landed in Adobe Photoshop. And the way you create photos or images will never be the same. So here's an example. So basically, you're just using text and the AI will try to output whatever you input. And then we've all heard about DALL-E 2. It's an AI system that can create realistic images and art from a description in natural language. So you tell it what you want it to do or what you want it to create, and it'll create the image. But there's other players as well. There's Midjourney. Midjourney is an independent research lab exploring new mediums of thought and expanding the imaginative powers of the human species. And you can see what's been created by some people over here in the community showcase. Pretty cool stuff. And then there's Lensa. And I think you've seen a lot of these avatars that people have been created, me included, of using AI to take your image and to get really creative with it. And then obviously we can go further when it comes to audio and video. The process of creating and editing with AI for audio and video is advancing very fast. All right, so let's talk about what plugins you could use to implement and utilize AI with your website today. If we go here to the webdesign.tootsplus.com article, 11 artificial intelligence tools for improving WordPress. Talks about the benefits of using AI, and one of them is going to be website performance and optimization, and it showcases Swift Performance AI. And basically that's a tool that'll help you optimize your website because nobody likes a slow website. Another one is Speed Curve, a faster site, happier users. There's My Curated Content Curation, uses AI and natural language processing to analyze content based on sentiment, tone, and key phrases. Word AI, very similar to Jasper, and there's Jasper as well. And then there's TDO, which is about customer service, which is how you can use AI with a chatbot to improve your customer service. And of course, there's search engine optimization. WordLift is another plugin that can be used, helps with schema markup. There's Rank Math, another SEO plugin for WordPress. Get Genie, a content and SEO assistant for your site. Then of course there's website security. Now this is where AI can really shine when it comes to securing your websites. AI can be used to determine if there's any security issues with your site. Weak passwords, maybe there's code that's just not that secure. AI can be used to find some of these issues. And of course spam detection with Akismet. If we go to monsterpost.com, they have an article talking about AI in digital marketing, how it could be used for process automation, personalization, relevant ads, lead generation, website optimization, and data analysis. And then if we go to WP Beginner, they mentioned the 10 WordPress plugins using artificial intelligence and machine learning. They have Uncanny Automator. This one's supposed to automate your whole entire process of managing your website. There's All-in-One SEO, Akismet, WordLift, and Grammarly. Grammarly is another one that's been used to improve the quality of content. There's Google Language Translator, My Curator, Website Voice, Katera Web Malware Scanner. Obviously there's chatbots, and then Image SEO. Then if we go here to CrocoBlock, they have the 15 best WordPress AI plugins using machine learning in WordPress. And they talk about how AI can be used to boost website SEO, make websites more accessible, introduce smart assistants. And you're going to see a couple of familiar plugins here as well. WordLift, SEO Press, Akismet, AI Engine, Katera Web Malware Scanner, Bertha AI, Elementor AI, Content Bot AI, CodeWP, and Translate Press. Then there's Tidio for live chat, and Yarp, which is yet another related post plugin. Then you have Responsive Voice, Text-to-Speech, Get Genie, Link Whisper, Rank Math. Then they talk about what's next. Alright, but what about some WordPress plugins dedicated to AI on WordPress.org? Let's check them out. Alright, you can see we already have some plugins to choose from. So AI has taken the world by storm over the past year. We've seen some amazing advancements when it comes to artificial intelligence and the rapid speed of development. And obviously with a platform like WordPress, the two can go hand in hand. And my advice is that we all get deeply familiar with artificial intelligence. But then there's the question, will AI take over all of our jobs? That's a concern that a lot of people have. Again, I don't think it's going to happen now. I think for the foreseeable future, artificial intelligence is going to be a co-pilot to all of us. They're going to be a pair programmer or a pair content creator, meaning they're going to be useful tools that we could use to streamline our workflow. And if it comes to the point that AI can do everything for us, then I guess at that point we got to figure out what's next. Alright, so that's a lot of information that we shared about artificial intelligence and WordPress. Obviously, I'm going to write my own blog post. It'll be available on pixelweb.com. And hey, if you want to learn how to create WordPress themes, then check out DevWP. It's a training theme that I developed to help people learn how to code their own custom themes. I created a video about that, so it's definitely in the cards and in the description area below. And you can see it right here. Master WordPress theme development step-by-step tutorial. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification icon. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or suggestions, leave them down below. And as always, thanks for watching, happy blogging, and happy coding.